In Delta Force Operations Mode, all players now have the ability to unlock a 3x3 Safebox for the rest of the season completely for free, just by completing some missions. Admittedly, it is quite a lot of missions, but also by completing just some of the seasonal missions, you can unlock the 3x3 Safebox to use for 24 hours, and you can actually get 21 of these day passes in total. Today, I've got some great tips for you to help you get ahead on these missions, including how to start working on some that you haven't even unlocked yet. If you find this video helpful at all, then drop a like to let me know, and if you have any questions or tips for any of the missions for this season, then drop them in the comments down below and we can all keep helping each other out with these. So to quickly recap why a Safebox is so good, why are they worth upgrading and getting, you can see here I've got the 3x2, you get this from buying the Battle Pass for the season. By default, the one you normally have when you haven't unlocked anything is a 1x2, so a tiny safe box. You can barely fit anything in that. Anything you put in your safe box can't be lost. If you die mid-game, without extracting, you'll still keep whatever you put in your safe box. So the bigger the safe box, the better it is. And if we can get a 3x3, then there's some items we can find in the game that wouldn't fit in the 2x3, like the tank and lots of other high value items. And as well as that, even if we're just finding single slot items, the more slots we have here, the more valuable items we can put in here, meaning that you can guarantee making money even if you're not managing to extract. So those 3 extra slots could be absolutely critical of making you some good money and depriving your enemies of some loot. In order to get our 3x3, we need to go to the new season missions found in Departments, Mission, and on the far end, Season Mission Firework. You can see I've already completed some of them, these ones down the bottom here. And what we're going to focus on today is specifically the collection missions. There's lots of other ones that involve killing soldiers, killing players, stuff like that. But today we're just focusing on the collector ones. There's a couple that you start with at the very beginning. We won't worry too much about today. That's the customized terminal, where you need to find a radio, cell phone, and motherboard. And then also membership fee, where you need an Intel recorder, implantable defib, and ultraviolet lamp. Now these ones are super easy because you can just buy these from the auction house if you have the money, and then just submit them. What becomes more challenging is once you get onto the next section. This is collector 1, 2, and further on collectors that I haven't unlocked yet. These require you to submit unbound items, and to get an unbound item, that means we basically need to find it in game and extract with it. If we buy it from the auction, it'll be bound. If I just show you a bound item so you recognize the symbol, you see it all the time. See this med kit here in the bottom right of this, it's got this little icon. This means it's bound, so if I try and sell it, I can't put it auction. I can only put it in supply station. And that's because it's something I've bought from the auction house. Same you can see for some of these guns. Maybe they're from missions, maybe they're from auction. Some are bound and some aren't. So what this means is we gradually need to acquire all this random stuff: bone saw, stone hammer, 5 super glues, and all this other junk and semi-junk items. Now the question is, what's the best way to go about finding these? First off, what you want to do is make sure you mark all of these items. The ones you got so far, you can just click on them and then see the little mark here, unmark I've got because I've already marked it. If you just click that, makes it go gold. That is now marked, and when you find that item in game, it will pop up and show you that that's a favorited item. So you'll recognize it easily in game and you'll remember to hang on to it. And on top of that, it'll also be useful because when you're in your stash and you're selling things, if you right click on it, you can see this is marked here, so I'll remember not to sell this. Same for these coffee beans, this wooden pipe. If I select something maybe else that isn't marked, you see this has the hollow star, so we know that isn't marked and that's okay to sell if we wanted to. And once you've completed collector 1 and 2, there's actually collector 3, 4, 5, and 6 still to do over the course of the season. If we go to mission overview, you can't see these named because they're not unlocked yet, but you can see the ones that I've done already here. And if we scroll along, you can see there's loads more missions to unlock as we make our way through. These, by the way, are all the one-day access 3x3 crates I said we could unlock. There's 21 of these in total. You can see there's loads dotted around the tree, quite a few of them down here through the Thunder 1 mission, and then a bunch going through the middle here. And then we go all the way to the end, and this one at the very end, once you've completed all of these missions, that gives you the 3x3 with access until the end of the season. So something that would be very useful would be to know what items you need to collect for the other collector missions before you've unlocked them, so you can start gathering that stuff now and not sell things that you might find out that you later needed. And that is exactly what we've got. We've got this fantastic graphic that was shared on the Delta Force Discord. There's a few of these going about where people have unlocked the missions already, or getting it from the Chinese server where they're already a little ahead, so we could get the information early. So what we can see here is that for collector 3, we need to find ultraviolet lamp times 3, the capsule coffee machine times 2, coffee beans times 3, 9-volt battery times 5, and so on and so forth. You can see over all layers of this. And this is really useful because what I've done now is I've gone through, you can go to your auction, you can search in here for an item. We say wooden carved pipe, and then you can right click on this, and then you can click on this, and you can do mark and make sure you've got that marked. And then when we find these, we can just take them, store them in our stash, and once we finally unlock that collector mission, we can just submit it straight away. And that's what I've been doing here. Only briefly, you can see I've already got the carved pipe for collector 4. I've got the mill comp for collector 5. I've got coffee beans for collector 3. All sorts of bits that I'm gradually starting to acquire. When you want to hand in items, you can see I've got some candles ready to go here. If we go to department's mission, and you can always just go to both of them, just click submit. And if you have any of these items in your inventory, it will just pop up and show you. We don't have any of these. This one we do. So we hit submit and it shows you the one we have. Got my candles, submit that, and that has now been submitted. I still need one more of those, so we'll leave that favorited. And once we got one more candle submitted, then we can unmark that and take it out of our favorites. Now, if you want a bit of help finding specific items, you can click on them, go to source, and then you can see we've got, it says 0 dam cement plant. It does give you some advice on where to find these. I don't find this very helpful, to be honest. Most of these items I found in other places. I think this just means it has a higher chance of spawning this area. So if there's an item you're really struggling with, then maybe keep going to that place over and over. But to be honest, I think you probably just have better luck just crawling the map and just looting like crazy, and you're going to find stuff that you need. We can click on these. A lot of them will say cement plant. There's quite a few that pop up at the Sparkling Empress Hotel. You can check this as well if you go to your favorites for the items you haven't unlocked yet, like the gold bar. On this one, it said Sparkling Empress Hotel. I'm pretty sure every gold bar I've ever found has been on 0 dam, mostly in the bank. I've found them in admin before, so apparently you can find them in the hotel as well. But like I said, I'm not sure how useful that information is. I think your best bet is just either playing the game normally and making sure you've got everything favorited and collecting it, or doing what I did a little while ago and going in on a knife run with a reasonably big bag on easy mode and just sneaking around and looting absolutely everything. This is some gameplay of me doing that just before I recorded this video. I jumped in as Hatclaw with a decent sized bag and nothing else, and just snuck around on easy, not really taking fights, and just tried to loot every single small container I could find, and also every AI body. Usually AI bodies on easy rarely have anything good on them. They can have good items, but hardly ever, unless it's a shield bearer or a machine gunner. Sometimes they can have better stuff. But you want to make sure you're checking every AI body, because they can have a lot of these random little junky items that you need, like tea or fuel or batteries, glue, candles. It's the sort of random item that you can often find on AI bots. And as well as that, just make sure you're searching every box, every bag, every tool cabinet, everything you can see, and just make your way around the map, checking things and keeping an eye out for things that pop up marked as your favorites. You can see over the course of this game, this is literally the first one I did just to try and get some footage. I managed to find 4 different mission items for the collector missions. 3 of these were from missions I haven't even unlocked yet, so that's thanks to having access to that graphic. Without that, those items I either would have left or I would have just sold, and then later on would have realized that they would have been really handy to keep. And I also found one of those items from the starter mission as well, the defib, and got pretty lucky finding just generally some quite good loot, making quite a lot of money off pretty much a naked knife run on 0 dam easy, and we even got a cheeky kill with some terrible white ammo along the way. I'll leave you now just to enjoy the rest of that gameplay. Like I said, drop any questions you have down below or tips. There's lots of other missions in this chain, in the season missions. They're not just the collector ones. There's lots of ones where you have to do all sorts of other things. So if you've played these through and got some tips on how to get through these quickly, or maybe ones that are particularly difficult or easy, then drop a comment down below. Or like I said, if you've got any questions about any of the missions, put those down there as well, and maybe someone will be able to help you out. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like. My name's Ben. We are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.
Decoding enemy signals. Found them. Tracking. Hostiles detected.
This is the last chance to get that brick back. We cannot let them go.
Decoding the signal. Decoding enemy signals. Enemy located.
bags to the basket.